Axios has a terrifying story for us that's a reminder of just how human our leaders are. On Thursday, November 9th, when President Trump and his team visited Beijing's Great Hall of the People, Chief of Staff John Kelly and a U.S. Secret Service agent skirmished with Chinese security officials over the nuclear football. I've spoken to 5 sources familiar with the events. Here's what happened as they describe it. When the U.S. military aide carrying the nuclear football entered the Great Hall, Chinese security officials blocked his entry. The official who carries the nuclear football is supposed to be close to the president at all times, along with a doctor. A U.S. official hurried into the adjoining room and told Kelly what was happening. Kelly rushed over and told the U.S. officials to keep walking. "We're moving in," he said, and the Americans all started moving. Then there was a commotion. A Chinese security official grabbed Kelly, and Kelly shoved the man's hand off his body. Then a U.S. Secret Service agent grabbed the Chinese security official and tackled him to the ground. The whole scuffle was over in a flash, and the U.S. officials told about the incident were asked to keep quiet about it. Trump's team followed the normal security procedure to brief the Chinese before the visit to Beijing, according to a person familiar with the trip. But somebody at the Chinese end either didn't get the memo or decided to mess with the Americans anyway. I'm told at no point did the Chinese have the nuclear football in their possession or even touch the briefcase. I'm also told the head of the Chinese security detail apologized to the Americans afterwards for the misunderstanding. So, this is just one of those stories, man, that shows you how insanely human everybody is. And that's almost a point that's like, duh. But at the same time, it's not, because I think all of us on some level, we have this little thing going on in the back of our mind of like, well, yeah, even though shit's really fucked up, there's some sort of a system in place and procedure, and even though people seem really inept and fucked up, once you actually get into that position of power, you act in a way that's responsible enough where we can just get from day to day. But no, I mean, shit like this, it reminded me of all the instances where apparently we've been super close to nuclear annihilation. It's happened a few times where there were accidents and we came really close, like, oh shit, we almost just fucking nuked something. That's happened a few times. And those instances are nothing to scoff at. We're really lucky that we haven't had that happen yet. And many people smarter than me make the argument we're on borrowed time. When you have nuclear weapons, we're on borrowed time. It's just inevitable that something is going to happen at some point along the way. Either a misunderstanding that leads to a nuclear launch that leads to the destruction of everybody, or some sort of an accident where it goes off. I mean, again, we're human. Humans fuck up. And the more time goes by, the more likely it is we're going to fuck up. And we're a danger to ourselves at this point, more than anything else is a danger to us. And that's another really, really shocking point, but it's true. I mean, look at what we do to the climate. You know, look at how fast climate change is advancing now because of our actions, because of what human beings are doing to the planet and how much we're damning future generations to runaway sea level rise and runaway greenhouse gas effect and droughts and famines and wars over water and the Middle East being uninhabitable and everything being fucked up as a result of this. And we can't get out of our own way, it seems, in many ways. And this is, again, we got lucky in this instance, but there was a fight over the fucking nuclear football, basically. That's what happened. That's what just happened. What? So this is why everybody should be working towards peaceful ends. If your goal is not peace and your goal is more war, more hawkishness, more escalation, you're just wrong. Because you don't know what can happen. You know, just like what's going on right now with Russia, how there's a NATO buildup on Russia's border. We've armed Ukrainian rebels that are against Russia. We're flying our fighter jets by the Black Sea, right by Russia's border. This is unhinged shit. We need to sit down and move towards peace. But of course, if Trump were to try to do that, the Democrats would immediately say this proves he's Putin's puppet and we can't get peace. So there's no winning. But it's just, a terrifying situation that we're in, where we're all human beings, we're all massively fallible, we all have emotions, and we act in the heat of the moment, and we're super flawed, but we also have the ability to destroy everything around us, whether it be through our actions in regards to the climate and pollution, or whether it be through the fact that we have weapons that can now destroy the world. So it feels like we're just not ready to have that kind of power yet. We haven't evolved far enough to be able to responsibly deal with that kind of power, but we have that power. So now it's just like we're at the top of two skyscrapers walking on a tightrope in between the two buildings. And it's like, holy shit, this is scary.